Alright, here we go with another how to do something video, I guess. Today it's homemade yogurt. I've been making this for probably over a year now, and through talking with people, they've asked me how to do it, so I decided to put together this video. So it's going to be a homemade vanilla Greek-style yogurt. It's made with organic whole milk. Definitely get organic. Don't go anywhere else. It's not going to come out right. I've tried all kinds of things, and the organic works the best. It's more going to be more on the lines of a Greek yogurt, and the difference between a Greek yogurt and a regular yogurt is there's more whey in a regular yogurt. There's less in a Greek yogurt, which makes it more firm. But you'll see that later on when I do that. So this is a wicked good recipe for yogurt, and I make a gallon at a time, and Erica loves to put the fresh fruit in it, and I like it with cinnamon, so cinnamon and vanilla. So anyway, here's my video. Alright, so first you got to start off by putting your milk in a double boiler. I got a gallon of the organic whole milk in a double boiler. Basically it's just two pans. The bottom pan has the water in it. I've got a digital thermometer in here because you want to bring it up to 200 degrees. And right now we are at 195 degrees. There's a lot of reasons for it. You can Google it, figure it out. But this is just how to make it, not the reasons behind it. So when that's up to 200 degrees, that's when you stir in your ingredients. And I'll come back in 5 more degrees. Alright, according to our trusty thermometer, the thermometer says 200 degrees. So now we want to take this off, shut it down, take it off and put some things into it. Alright, for what my recipe is, for every half gallon of milk, it calls for 6 tablespoons of sugar. I was using 7 teaspoons of Truvia. And now for the first time I'm trying stevia because, I don't know, everything else is bad for you. This is probably bad for you too, but who knows. So it'd be 6 tablespoons of sugar per half gallon. I'm doing 6 tablespoons per gallon because you can always sweeten it up when you're eating it. Because I have no idea what this stevia stuff's going to do. And then you want to do 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract per half gallon. So I'm doing 2 tablespoons. And if you've never made your own vanilla extract, you should give that a shot. Right in there, a split Madagascar vanilla beans with some cheap vodka. Let it sit around. Google it. You'll see how to make it. But anyway, this is where you add your vanilla and your sugar. Is when it's at 200 degrees. And then you want to bring it down to 120 degrees. So we have a sink full of water over here, and I got some ice on the side. And we're going to drop this in there, bring it down to 120 degrees, and that's when you add your yogurt. So we'll do that right now. Just keep in mind that this will come down pretty quick. I did have a bowl of ice that was around this water bath, and right now we're at 130 degrees, so we got 10 more to go, but it comes down pretty quick. Again, you want to get down to 120. Okay, so the milk is down to 120, and this is the point where you add active yogurt culture or just some yogurt. So here I've got some vanilla yogurt. I like to use plain, but I guess we bought some vanilla yogurt to eat, which incidentally is the reason why I started making this. My sister Tanya was down at the house, and we were eating yogurt, and she asked me if I ever looked at what was in the yogurt, and I just figured it was yogurt. I don't know. I didn't know what was in it. Some kind of cow stuff. And I read it, and it was pretty gross, so I looked into how to make my own. So you need an active culture. If you don't have that, you can get some regular yogurt. So the regular yogurt, the recipe calls for, I don't know, I've tweaked it so many times. I got about 1 tablespoon per 4 cups of milk. So I got a gallon, so that's what, 16 cups? So I put 4 tablespoons of yogurt in here. Now we're going to put them equally into these 2 containers right here, because it has to cook. And by cook, it needs to stay at 120 degrees for 7 hours. And that's what this is for. This cooler right here is filled up with tap water, which happens to be 120 degrees. It's not really full, but it's enough to cover the milk when it's in here, and it'll sit for 7 hours. So I'm going to put that in there right now. All right. So what we have down in there is a plastic container with a half gallon and another one with a half gallon, and this is just a pan I used with water just to hold it down so they don't float. So there's 120 degree water up over the, actually it's 122 degrees, that's what comes out of my tap, up over the milk to keep it at 100. You want it at 120, 125 degrees for 6 to 7 hours. And this cooler is made to hold ice for a long time, so it stays this way. It stays. When I pull this out, it'll drop 2 degrees. So, I will see you in about 7 hours. All right, here it is. That's actually 8 hours later. I took one out right there, and took the cover off, and we're gonna take this one out. And the water is still hot. It's pretty cool how it does that. 8 hours later. I don't know if you can see this, but it's all thick. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it into this colander. It has a cheesecloth, and we're going to let it drain. And we're going to let it drain overnight because it is kind of late. And in the morning, all the whey will be out of it. I'm going to actually have to add some probably to thin it out. But so that's what's going to happen. We're going to pour all this into here. And it's a good thing I have 2 of these and another cheesecloth. And we'll let that drain. So we'll see you in the morning. Alright, so it's the next morning, and I've got the yogurt out of the fridge. You only need to do this for a couple of hours. Overnight will make it very, very thick. See it? But I'll add some of the whey, which is right there, back into it to thin it up. Just because I had done it so late and I needed 7 hours. Incidentally, the whey is good for making a ricotta cheese after you make yogurt. If you make anything with a citric acid like mozzarella cheese or something like that, then it wouldn't be good. If you use like a citric acid, speaking of which, right there, citric acid, that's for making mozzarella. If you use that, then you're not going to get a good ricotta, but if you use a culture like the yogurt culture, then you'll be good. So I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so this is the other one that I decided at the last minute not to drain the whey. And it's a very creamy thin yogurt, which is like the yogurt you get that don't say Greek on it. And this is, and you can see the volume difference. This is the Greek yogurt. Very thick. So that's the difference between Greek yogurt and regular yogurt. Alright, here's what we have what's left over. And there isn't much of it. As you can see, this isn't a big pan. There's not much of it because I only strained one batch of yogurt and got the whey out of it. So you heat it up to 200 degrees, the leftover whey. And as you can see, there's some solids going on. And after you run the whey through a cheesecloth, you got ricotta after you add your spices and whatnot. But there won't be much of it, just like I said, because there wasn't a lot of whey. So we'll get to that in a minute. So that's how you make yogurt. And here's my yogurt. Like I said, I make it with cinnamon. It's fresh vanilla yogurt. And also, that was definitely enough sugar to put in it too. So this is it. It was sweet enough. I didn't need any more of the stevia or whatever it is I used. So here's my vanilla cinnamon yogurt.